What's up, guys? Welcome back to Napoli Central. Welcome back to another video. So it's been a couple hours since the Napoli Cagliari match went final, which we lost 1-0, as you already know and probably have seen by now. I just had to collect my thoughts before I said anything, but, if you're a Napoli fan, subscribe to the channel. If you're not, you want to stay in tune with the channel, please do as well. But like the video, I really, really appreciate it. Not with my normal setup, but I got to just get this done really quickly. But it was a tough loss, and I went on Twitter after the match, and I said, there's so many fans out there that jump on others for expressing emotion, and, just because, Napoli loses a game, 5 games of the season, it's our second loss, and there's some people panicking. Even I say things out of emotion. I'm very pessimistic most of the time. This year I've been trying to do better. And obviously, after a loss like this, you just get the feeling like, oh, the race is over. We're not in it for the Scudetto. But obviously, you just have to calm down and realize that there's 33 games left, and anything can happen. And we play Inter twice. We play Juve one more time. We just need to go in there with our heads high and win those games. Anything can happen. They should be able to drop points at some point, Inter and Juve, so we'll see. But what I meant on Twitter was just you can't judge people for just being upset a little bit. Yeah, if they're the fan that maybe, are like, damn, it's over, and then for the rest of the season they want to be so pessimistic about it, fine. But a regular fan who just comes out and they're upset at the loss and they're just viewing things in a bad perspective, and then, they just a couple hours later are just like, okay, we'll calm down and we'll go to the next match. Because it's hard. It's hard as a Napoli fan, honestly. And I don't want to sound like, I don't want to be pitiful and at all, but I just want to say, you look at Juventus, do they really lose games like this? Not really. I mean, even if what do we have today? Over 25 shots. Only 5 of them were on target, but we hit the post a couple times. We went barely wide a couple times, and then they have their one shot on target, and it's a goal. Juve usually doesn't lose these type of games. They either find a way to tie it or win it, and they've already come back twice after trailing against lesser sides and won the game. Inter had a little bit of a struggle with Cagliari, but they won the game. I believe they played Cagliari, if I'm not mistaken. Hopefully I'm not wrong there. But what I'm trying to say is just yeah, there is a little bit of misfortune, but Napoli has to get the goal. Today, with all those shots, they have to score. But it's just tough because if you look at the historically, it feels like typical Napoli because this happens to us, but at Juventus they won't drop those points, or rarely do in this fashion. So that's what I mean by. I understand why fans are upset about it, but hopefully those fans, will just get it together after composing themselves, after, letting those feelings out, and then move on to the next game. So that's all I mean by, don't be so quick to jump on others, because some of them are rational and are just upset because they've seen how years have gone in the past, and Juve keeps winning the league, and Inter right now is undefeated. But, like I said, 33 games left, and anything can happen. There's so much game left. Anything can happen with 10 games left, but there's 33 games left. So Napoli just has to recollect themselves and get back at it. It really did suck, though, the result, because we, the first half, we still were better than them in the first half, and overall we had 70% possession in the game. But in the second half, we absolutely demolished them. We were in their half the whole game. They had to have, 5-6 guys back in the back line defending and blocking numerous of shots, because out of those 30 shots, 5 of them were on target. Olsen made some great saves. I said it before the game, Olsen's going to have a great game, because everyone seems to play at their highest level against Napoli, but he made some good saves. We hit the post a couple of times. Mertens, I know, hit it once. Llorente came in, Milik came in. I think Llorente had a couple headers. They went barely wide. So many crosses and balls into the box, and we just weren't able to cash in, And I'm not going to be like last year where, see, it's the same thing. We can't finish chances. Because through the first 4 games, we had the most goals in the Serie A, 13 goals, So finishing wasn't a problem. These games are going to happen. It's football. And I know some of you guys watching this will be like, wow, he would never admit that. Because I'm trying to be positive, and it's just sometimes it doesn't go your way. But it was just a very misfortunate game because defensively they weren't that bad either. But of course, there was that one opportunity that Cagliari had, and Castro scores in the box. Manolas couldn't get to the clearance. But besides everyone getting beaten there with the marking and letting in that goal right in front of the net, what was it, 88th, 89th minute, something like that, there wasn't really much else. Cagliari had nothing. So it's just a mental lapse. It really comes down to that. They were mentally they had a moment where, they're not going to get in behind us, and they got behind them, and they scored. So, Koulibaly gets sent off with a red card for protesting. I know a lot of people are confused about this, and I'm not even sure yet. I haven't really gone to look back at it. But I don't think the protesting was on Cagliari's goal. I'm pretty sure that it was because of something that Napoli didn't get at the other end. So it was either because of a foul or a handball that they wanted to be checked out in the penalty area, probably, that didn't get called or checked. And as far as that, I didn't really see much, so I have to go back and look. But that's why Koulibaly got sent off, and he wasn't even a freaking starter in this game. He came off the bench at halftime, and now he got a red, and he's gonna miss the next game, which is gonna be tough, which we'll get to in a few minutes. But let's just talk about some players' performances, because that's also what I'm here for. I'm not just here to be pitiful and say we should have won the game. It's a bad result, but a lot of the players played well. I mean, Mertens hits the post a couple of times, and yeah, maybe some passes were off, but he still looked like he can create some chances. The fullbacks, no problems. Di Lorenzo and Rui, no problems. I saw really nothing too bad with in terms of negatives with them today. They were pretty good. Di Lorenzo is amazing. I mean, at this point, he's the summer signing of the year for us, at least. I mean, he can easily be worth 30, 40 million, and we got him for 9. And he's just been incredible in both phases of the game. Mario Rui, another pretty good game. Saw no problem with that, so that's always good to see. It was just, the center backs, Maksimovic was fine until he came off and he got hurt. Koulibaly was fine when he came in. Manolas was fine too. It was just that one play where the marking happened and the whole defense had a lapse there. Midfielders, I mean, maybe not playing Fabian hurt us a little bit. Insigne up front didn't really do much. He was probably one of the worst ones today. He didn't dribble around people. It seemed like he was just, it wasn't his usual self, like trying to, cut back or, juke around people. It was kind of lackluster on his end. Like I said, Mertens had the effort. Allan was pretty good. I'm trying to think of everybody. Callejon wasn't bad. Lozano didn't have a great game, but that's another thing I'd like to talk about, because Ancelotti hasn't been playing him in his position. Lozano isn't a striker, and he, over the past couple seasons, at least at PSV, he's been way better in the penalty. I mean, on the wing. He's been a right and a left winger. He can play both interchangeably, I think. And he's way more effective out there, but he's been being used as kind of like a false 9 or as the second striker in a 4-4-2. And I don't think he's been as effective in that role as of the past couple of games. So I would like to see him being used on the wing more, and that's something that we'll see as time goes on, how Ancelotti uses him. But I think that's why he didn't do much today. And like I said, Llorente and Milik, when they came on, they tried to have some chances. Llorente is dangerous in the air where you can see that he can get on balls. They just weren't able to score. And that's really all I can say. The defense has been shaky, but today is just that one moment. But the fullbacks remain no problem. It's just, they got caught out in one moment, and that's all you need really to win a game, and that's what happened. So we'll see what happens from here on out. The Brescia match this weekend was going to be tougher than Cagliari, and it still will be tougher than Cagliari, because now we have to go out and beat them. We really have to put our hold on them early, drill them early, score goals early. We can't just keep doing this and waiting until the second half to try to score goals. We got to go at them full force from the beginning. Balotelli's back, and Brescia played very well against Juventus, even though they lost 2-1. Brescia was really good, and I watched that game. I was very impressed. So they're going to be a tough test. Napoli, clearly the better team, should win the game, but it's going to be tough. And hopefully the guys, after losing today, will go at them from the get-go. So we'll see what happens. Nonetheless, like the video. Hopefully you guys will subscribe to the channel. If you have anything to say in response to what I said, if you don't agree with me, please comment. I would like to know your opinions. But let's keep the positivity up, and the season is far from over. All right, so Forza Napoli sempre, and I'll catch you guys later. Ciao.